You wake up and the weight is already there, not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind that sits in your chest before thought begins. The kind that comes when love leaves and something essential doesn't return with it. You don't talk about it, you function. But inside, your sense of direction is damaged. That is where this title begins. Musashi's advice to men broken by love was never written as comfort. It was written as orientation. Because when love breaks you, the danger isn't pain. The danger is losing your center. Modern culture treats heartbreak as an emotional event, something to process, vent, distract, or replace. But Musashi would have seen it differently. He would have seen heartbreak as a structural failure, a moment where attachment overtakes posture, where the mind bends toward what it has lost instead of what it must become. Musashi lived in a world where loss was constant: death, betrayal, uncertainty. And yet his writings and actions show something unusual. He did not let loss define his movement. That is the single truth inside this title. When love breaks you, rebuild your center, not the story. Ignore that truth and modern life amplifies the damage. You replay conversations, you imagine alternate endings. You search for meaning in what was taken instead of what remains. Your attention loops backward, your posture softens, you begin moving through the world as someone who has been reduced. This reduction shows up everywhere, in your work, in your silence, in how you carry your body. You may still desire and still function, but your actions no longer come from solidity, they come from reaction. Musashi trained men to act without reaction. He was born into instability. His father was a swordsman of little status. His early life was marked by violence and absence. Musashi learned early that certainty was not given, it was forged. By his teens, he was already fighting duels, not for glory but to test alignment. Each encounter demanded full presence, no emotional distraction, no attachment to outcome. You either stood correctly or you fell. This discipline shaped how he approached everything, including loss. Musashi never built his identity around being chosen, loved, or validated. His identity was built around the path, the way, something deeper than a relationship. Modern heartbreak feels devastating because it collapses identity. You don't just lose someone, you lose who you were when you were with them. And without a deeper structure, there's nothing to hold you upright. Musashi would not have encouraged you to suppress grief. He would have told you to observe it without obedience. Grief to him was energy without direction. Left undisciplined, it turns inward, becomes resentment, becomes self-doubt, becomes longing. And longing is dangerous, not because it hurts, but because it pulls you backward. Musashi never moved backward. After each duel, regardless of outcome, he continued forward. No celebration, no collapse, just adjustment. That adjustment is what modern men miss. When love ends today, you are encouraged to analyze endlessly, to assign blame, to search for lessons prematurely, to narrate yourself into understanding. Musashi understood that understanding comes after structure, not before. First, you restore posture. Posture is not physical alone. It is how you wake up, how you eat, how you train your attention, how you sit with silence, how you resist the urge to check, to explain, to reach out one more time. Broken by love, the instinct is to move toward what hurt you, to seek closure, to reclaim dignity through response. Musashi would have warned you, any movement that requires permission weakens you. He trained independence at every level. He traveled alone, slept rough, accepted discomfort. This wasn't punishment, it was recalibration. Discomfort strips illusion. Heartbreak creates illusion. It convinces you that something outside you was holding you together. Musashi's entire life was built on disproving that belief. He believed that nothing external should determine your internal state, not victory, not loss, not intimacy. That belief wasn't philosophical, it was practical. In combat, emotional dependence was fatal. In life, it is corrosive. Modern love culture encourages fusion, share everything, merge identities, make each other the center. This feels beautiful until it ends. Then the collapse is total. Musashi avoided fusion, not because he feared closeness, but because he valued clarity. Clarity requires boundaries, boundaries of time, of attention, of emotional responsibility. When love broke him, if it ever did, we have no record of collapse. What we do see is continuity. His writing deepened, his discipline sharpened, his solitude increased, not escape, refinement. That is the advice hidden in his life. Do not rush to replace what you lost. Do not rush to explain it. Do not rush to heal in public. Instead, return to basics. Musashi would have told you to simplify your days, reduce stimulation, reduce speech, reduce movement that isn't necessary. When the mind is fractured, excess input deepens the wound. Modern life offers the opposite: endless distraction, constant noise, immediate validation. You're encouraged to drown pain rather than train through it, but drowning teaches nothing. Musashi believed pain was information, information about where your structure failed. Maybe you gave more than you had, maybe you abandoned your path to preserve connection, maybe you ignored discomfort to maintain closeness. Maybe you mistook intensity for alignment. These are not moral failures, they are structural ones, and structure can be rebuilt. Musashi rebuilt himself constantly. After every fight, every journey, every period of isolation, he adjusted. His technique evolved, his mind sharpened, his attachment decreased. He learned to stand alone without becoming hard. This is critical. Men broken by love often swing between extremes. Either they harden completely, closing off, numbing themselves, or they collapse into longing, hoping to be saved by another connection. Musashi chose neither. He chose solidity. Solidity means you can feel without leaking. You can remember without reliving. You can miss without chasing. That emotional discipline doesn't come from suppression. It comes from orientation. Your orientation must return to something that cannot leave. Musashi's orientation was the way, his craft, his discipline, his attention. Yours does not need to be a sword. It needs to be something you practice daily, regardless of mood. Something that does not respond to heartbreak with collapse. Training does this. Routine does this. Silence does this. Physical exertion does this. Deep work does this, not as a distraction, but as a restoration. When you rebuild your center, something unexpected happens. The memory of love loses its power to destabilize you. It becomes part of your history, not your gravity. Musashi carried many battles with him, but none of them bent his posture afterward. He understood that what you carry should not determine how you stand. Modern men often confuse vulnerability with exposure. They expose wounds before they have structure. They seek empathy before they regain footing. Musashi would have advised restraint, not because pain should be hidden, but because it should be contained until it becomes strength. Contained pain sharpens, uncontained pain spreads. By the end of his life, Musashi withdrew again. Fewer possessions, fewer words, less movement, not because he had failed at connection, but because he had mastered himself. That mastery is what remains when love ends, not bitterness, not resentment, not superiority, just steadiness. And here is the quiet realization this title leads to: love didn't break you, losing your center did. And once you rebuild it, nothing taken from you will ever take you with it again.